So yesterday we went off on the press. I felt bad. Those nice people in the press. But we got a piece of fan art from Brian Logan, a guy who was watching the show, and he sent in this Klavan versus the leftist media. And I see he did Jim Acosta there. That's like, it's like I love the picture of the press as a slavering lizard of death. You know, it's just which is pretty close. It's pretty close to the truth. You know, I have a saying, and this is true because I see what some of the comments people make, especially when I'm doing my open and I'm kidding around, and people send in these comments, why is he laughing when everything is terrible? Why is he joking around? And I always say, really, when you think about it properly, everything is funny except other people's pain. Everything is funny except other people's pain. Well, happily, because we have a press, there's not everybody feels that way. Our press feels that other people's pain is funny. They are really ready to make fun of people who are suffering, especially if they're ordinary, God-loving Americans, because they know that they are so much superior to ordinary God. I mean, first we'll take a look at this Charlie Hebdo thing. I just want to put this out there. They put out a cartoon about the hurricane and now a tropical storm in Texas. It says God exists in French, and it shows Nazi flags and hands giving the Heil salute sinking into the flood of Texas. So that's proof that God exists, that they're killing people, that people are dying in Texas. Ha ha ha. They're so these leftists are so funny. They just I really admire their open mind, because I stop making jokes when other people are in pain, but they keep on going. You have to admire it. But here's the one that really got me. This is the one where this was from Politico, right? They tweeted this. And I really do want to talk about this for a couple of minutes, because it's worth it. They tweeted this and then they erased it. They deleted it. And it shows, if you're not watching, if you're listening, it shows a Texan being rescued by a chopper. He has got a flag that says, "Don't tread on me." He's wearing a big cowboy hat. He's a big fat guy wearing a Confederate flag. I don't think Texas was actually in the Confederacy, but that doesn't matter. And as the chopper is taking him away, he's shouting, "Angels sent by God," and the rescuer saying, or actually it's the Coast Guard sent by the government. And he's on a house rescuing somebody with a Texas flag that says secede. I think this is actually a wonderful cartoon. This tells you everything you need to know about the people who made the cartoon. This is Politico, but it could be CNN, it could be the New York Times, it could be any damn one of them. They are so superior to the people who are rescuing each other, helping each other, reaching out for each other. They know that this is a divided country where people hate each other because of race. They know that Southerners and people who live outside of LA and New York are terrible, people who hate each other and who never are friendly outside of their own race and their own philosophy. Since they're telling jokes about people suffering, let me tell a joke about people suffering. I have a joke about people suffering. Some of you may have heard this joke before. I'll tell it briefly, but it's worth telling. There's a flood, and a kind of super pious, self-righteous pastor is in his house as the floodwaters rise. And as the floodwaters rise, some neighbors come by in a rowboat, and they shout to him, "Pastor, pastor, get in the rowboat." And the pastor says, "Never mind, my friends, God will take care of me." The waters continue to rise. And so he climbs up to the second story. And while he's on the second story, another rowboat comes with his neighbors, and they shout, "Pastor, pastor, get in the rowboat." And he says, "No need, my friends, God will take care of me." The waters continue to rise. He climbs up on the roof, and a helicopter comes over, and the guys shout from the helicopter, "Get it, pastor, pastor, climb up the rope, get in the helicopter." He says, "No need, no need. God will take care of me." Floodwaters rise, the helicopter goes away, the floodwaters rise, and he drowns. He opens his eyes, and he's at the pearly gates, and there's this enormous throne engulfed with a ball of inconceivable light that he can barely see through it. And the pastor turns to this ball of light in the throne, and he says, "Father, Father, why did you forsake me?" And a voice comes out of the ball of light and says, "Forsake you? 2 rowboats and a helicopter." Now, I know it kills a joke to explain it, but I have to point out that these people who are making fun when the Texan says "angels sent by God," the point of that joke is that these people helping each other in Texas, these ordinary people that you guys despise so much. And I call them ordinary not because they're ordinary, I call them ordinary because there's so damn many of them. I call them ordinary because they're all across America. They're not just in Texas and Louisiana. They're all in all these places, everywhere, these places that you so despise and whose president they elect, the president they elected you so despise. All these people helping each other are the face of God. See, it's not the government. It's not anything. It is the face of God when people do this to each other. This is the image of God, and they know it. You think they're fools because people are rescuing them instead of some beam of light coming down, but they know because Jesus told them so. They know that there are two commandments. One is love God, and the other, says Jesus, is related to this, is love your neighbor as yourself. And why is it related? Because we're made in the image of God, and this is the image of God that you're seeing. And this God that you hate him so much because he elevates the world beyond yourself. And you hate these people so much because in what you consider their simplicity, what you consider their lack of sophistication, they're better than you are. They're better, and they're showing it every day while you're slathering with this hate about Donald Trump. You just can't get over the fact that you lost the damn election. You cannot get over it. You're just going to send hate at these people as they're suffering. It is amazing. Only the press, only Politico, only the left could treat people like this. You can always find on Twitter, you can always find some jerk saying some nasty thing, and that makes the world look like a worse place than it actually is. But these are central places, that like Politico is a big website. This is a central place where this is, for a moment, they revealed what they're really thinking.